10th of December. It is almost 9 o'clock. Ned should be at school by now. Calvin's on his way back, I believe. I have done the washing up. I put some washing in the machine. It's whirring away as we speak. I have not yet done my hair or my makeup, so excuse me if I look a little rough. I think that's next on my agenda. Not to put loads of effort in, but just neaten myself up a little before I carry on. But first I'm going to do my outfits. So let's start with the Giddy Yarns one. The colourway today is called the Castle of Bones. I think I've caught up again, so I shall do a little bit of reading later on. Here is day 10. Can't get in. Oh, fingers and thumbs this morning. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, there's some really interesting colours in there. Hope you can see them nicely. Got the light from the window coming in, so it should be a fairly good light. Although it's not exactly bright outside. But that's a good thing actually. I think if it's too bright it washes everything out, doesn't it? Right, anyway, blue fern. This one. That box is going to be so useful to keep things in when I've finished my advents. Oh, and the smell out of that box every time I open it is gorgeous. There we go for day 10. Oh, another beautiful one. These are going to go, I'm sure it's designed this way, but they are going to fade together so beautifully. I think there is a 100-gram skein for day 25 as well, so it'll be interesting to see what colour that is and how it goes together. I know there is for Giddy Yarns, which is why I'm not making anything with them yet. I will do, of course, but I don't know what. I'm going to wait and see how they all look together and make a decision at some point next year. I haven't finished using my Advent minis from last year yet, so it would be silly to start on these ones. I might, well, I will bring that project back downstairs actually, I think, today, tomorrow, and start getting some more done on that. Right, here we go. This is all the Blue Fern Yarns ones together. See, look how beautifully. So, yeah. Oh, that's just lovely. Really, really happy with that. Well done, Shannon, for sorting out the colours basically and getting them all to blend together as well as they're going to. I'm a little bit in awe of people who dye yarn. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I suppose. Yeah, I don't know how it works. Basically, I've never investigated dyeing yarn, and I'm not going to. I've got enough things to keep me occupied already. But it does intrigue me. It does. And I'm always very impressed by. Just there's so many different colourways, and people are always producing new ones. It's like, how have we not run out of colours yet? Anyway, I'm sure. There we go. So yes, these ones obviously don't fade, but that's okay too. They still look fun, and if that 100 grams gain that has come with this Advent for Giddy Yarns, if that's a fairly neutral colour, then they'll all end up going nicely together anyway. Right, next on my list, like I said, hair and makeup, just to make myself feel a little bit more presentable. And then I need to edit yesterday's video, which shouldn't take too long because there wasn't much to show you. Oh, and then I need to pay my credit card bill. That's thrilling. I won't show you that, you don't want to see. And I'm not sure, they've got lots of excuses to do today. Just trashing the place, don't mind me. Most of it fairly dull, I think, but I will try and find some things to show you as I go. I shall be back later. So here I am doing some crochet while I am editing the video from yesterday, the day before, whichever day it is. Yeah, lost track of time. I promise I am enjoying myself more than it looks. I have just one of those faces, I guess, where I never look happy unless I concentrate on looking happy. People are always asking me if I'm okay. Here I am working on the scrappy blanket that I showed you the other day from that I'm making from all my 4-ply sock yarn and any other bits of 4-ply wool that I use, but there's not much that isn't sock, to be fair. And now I am making sure I've got everything ready for the item that I want to make for Ned for Christmas. I won't be showing you the project itself until after Christmas because there's a chance that he will see these videos and I don't want to spoil a surprise. But I thought I would just show you my process at the start of a project. Nearly every start anyway. Make sure I've got all the materials I need, all the notions, get everything put together in a project bag. I always have a little notebook and I don't always use the timer. I don't think I will for this one. But I always have a notebook just to keep notes and working, and it's especially important for this one because it will be a self-designed item, not working from a pattern. So I need to keep notes as I go. I almost always K-cut my yarn before starting a project. Not absolutely always, but most of the time. Simply because I find cakes easier to work from than skeins, whether I'm working from the centre or from the outside. Either way, I find cakes much easier. They don't run away as much. Yeah, just easier to control generally. I tend to find the yarn gets less tangled. Speaking of tangles, I'm very glad that I wound this yarn up before I started working with it because I got in a real tangle here. Had to keep undoing it, pausing and starting again. Also, the cake then got too big for my ball winder, which I was expecting, to be honest, so I had to untangle it from that too, and then wind the rest by hand. And here is all of the yarn caked up and ready to go. I also tend to weigh my yarn before starting a project, just so I know exactly how much I've got. Quite often the weight shown on the label will be out by a few grams one way or the other. Not the end of the world at all, but I just like to know exactly how much I'm using in a project. I don't know, I like facts and figures and data. It's just something I'm into, I suppose. Hello again. It is ludicrously late again. I don't actually know what time it is. I forgot to check before I started recording. Yeah, well after midnight. And I'm going to keep working on this while I chat to you. Been going for, I don't know, probably a couple of hours now. I know it doesn't look like I've done much, but because it's very small stitches. And there's 50 in a row. I am using, this is why I'm up so late, to be honest. It's because I started working on this and didn't want to stop. I've been catching up on Vlogmas videos as well while I've been working on it. I've caught up with Sam at Chaos and Kismet, and with Sarah at Yarnmugs. I'm up to date with both of those lovely people. If you haven't watched their videos, Vlogmas or otherwise, please do go and check them out. They're both wonderful. They are both linked below in the description, along with a list of everyone else that I know of who is doing Vlogmas. So there are plenty of people for you to have a look at. Yeah, I'm working on, this is the yarn that my friend Dawn bought for me. This was pre-Vlogmas. I think I showed it on my podcast. We went out for lunch together one weekend. We don't see Dawn very often. Not nearly often enough, because she lives in Norfolk, which is a bit of a way away. But she is a very, very good friend of ours. And unfortunately, Kelvin and Ned weren't able to join us, but she and I went out for lunch, and she bought me this beautiful skein of yarn. Let's see if I can extract it from my yarn bowl without getting tangled. It came as a hank, but I've caked it up. Just the colours on that. Mary thinks I'm talking to her. She's come to get involved. And it is working up beautifully. It's by Coastal Colours, who I've heard of, and I think I've seen at a couple of yarn shows, but I've never bought anything from them, just not because I didn't want to, I just haven't had the funds. I can't buy from everybody, I can't afford to. But I have looked longingly at their yarn a few times, and it is extra special, not just because Dawn bought it for me, hello, but because it is a blend of camel and silk. Where's the label? Get the label somewhere. There you go, that's there. You can, if that focuses at all, I can't tell from here, you can grab a screenshot of that for their contact details. So I will try and remember to link them below as well. On here somewhere it does tell me it's a blend, 50% mulberry silk, 50% camel, and it's a 4-ply yarn. It is so luxurious. That is the only word for it, really. It is soft and smooth and just, it feels amazing. It's gliding across the hook, and it is, it's just wonderful, and it is working up beautifully. It's a variegated yarn, just the way that it's working with this stitch. Literally all I'm doing, this is was going to say my own pattern. It's not even really a pattern, although I might write it up once I'm done. I'm making, as a free pattern of course, because it's dead simple, I am making myself a new pair of fingerless gloves, which I've been meaning to do for a couple of months now, but there's just been so many other things to do. Finally getting around to it. Because I'm having an enforced break from my brother's blanket. I'll tell you about that in a minute. It's what I was going to be doing this evening, but I'll come back to that. Yeah, I'm literally just started with some foundation single crochets, just enough to go around the widest part of my arm, and then I'm just using front post doubles and standard doubles alternately to get this sort of ribbed effect. That's all US terms, by the way. And yeah, it looks gorgeous, it feels gorgeous. I'm having so much fun. I don't normally enjoy doing things that are this simple and repetitive. I just get a bit bored, basically. But I think because the yarn is so gorgeous and I'm loving seeing how the colours are working out, that it's actually, today at least, I'm getting a lot of enjoyment from this. And it's perfect to sit and work on while watching Vlogmas videos, because I can concentrate on them properly and actually hear what people are saying, which is nice. So yeah, and yes, it doesn't look like I've done a huge amount, but you know, I've done this much already, and I'll work up fairly quickly as I go. And yeah, at some point obviously I'll need to stop and put a thumb hole in, and possibly a small thumb gusset, but only a small one. I don't like long thumbs on fingerless mitts, it feels weird, but just a little one, so it's not just a hole like I've got on. Obviously these are just commercial mass produced things, but I'd like a little bit of something just kind of to there, maybe. We shall see. See how much yarn these take up. But yes, I'm loving them. I'm going to send a picture to Dawn in a minute, in fact, just say thank you again, because I'm sure she'll like to see that I'm actually using it. Right, what else have I done today? You will have seen me setting up the project bag for the thing I'm going to make for Ned for Christmas. And I've also done the same for the present I'm going to make for my niece, but I didn't see the point in recording essentially the same footage twice, just with different yarn. Well, that might be a bit much. But yeah, I've got both of those set up and ready to start. What else have I done today? Oh, I've paid my credit card bill. That was thrilling. Spent far too much money again, and that's only going to get worse this month. Never mind. I have listened to a lot of lovely music, discovered some new stuff. I don't know if I should maybe talk about music a bit more, the specifics of, because I do like to share it with people. Let me know what you think if you'd like to know what sort of music I've been listening to. I could talk about that, I'm sure. That's about it really today. I've tidied up a tiny bit in my craft room, but you can't really tell if you're not me. Caught up with the Hogfather. I am up to the right point now for the Advent read along. And I read a little bit more of the Eyes of the Dragon book by Stephen King that I showed you the other day. And then yeah, I did some work on my brother's blanket, and I was going really well. Again, a really good little stint in. Got about an hour's work on it, and then ran out of black yarn. And I was sure that I had some black DK yarn in my stash, preferably Stylecraft Special because that's what I've been using. But hey, any black DK yarn would do in a pinch. Do I have any? If I do, I've got no idea where it is. Been through all the likely boxes, and there is none. So I've had to order some more. I don't like to order yarn off Amazon, but I did have a look on there just on the off chance that I could get it quickly. We have Amazon Prime, so we can get a lot of things next day, which would have been really helpful. But I couldn't. Basically, I could order it off there, but it would have taken a couple of days. And I thought if I'm going to have to wait, I might as well order it from a preferred supplier. So I've ordered some from Wool Warehouse. They do have a next day delivery option, but I was too late in the day for it to actually be next day, if that makes sense. I think you have to order before 2 p.m, I think. And this was about 5, 6, somewhere between 5 and 6 this afternoon. So I've just gone with the standard delivery because it's usually pretty quick anyway. So I hope it'll be here soon. It means I'm behind schedule again. And I need that black before I can do any more. I can't even do the next row without more black yarn. So I am stuck temporarily, which is very frustrating. But on the plus side, I have only got about 20 rows left. So, and they're fairly simple rows now. There aren't a lot of colour changes in these ones that are left. So it shouldn't take me too long once I get back to it. And the other positive, of course, is that means I'm kind of having to work on all these other projects that I want to get done. So, yeah, that is a silver lining. It's just frustrating because I was on a roll with it. But hey, I will get back to it. I know I will. It'll be fine. I was going to put up some more Christmas decorations, but I didn't get time in the end, so that's on my list for tomorrow. I do need to go into town at some point. I was going to go tomorrow, but I think I might leave it till Thursday or Friday. That's about it. No counselling again this week. Didn't go last week because I wasn't feeling well. And then I can't go this week because my counsellor has got the week off. So, or at least he's got tomorrow off. I don't know if it's the whole week. So that is a bit of a shame. The counselling's going really well. I don't know if I've talked about that on these Vlogmas videos, but I have on my podcast a little. But yeah, again, looking on the bright side, it gives me an extra afternoon of doing stuff. So just because I have to use public transport, it takes me about an hour to get there and about an hour to get back. So it's pretty much most of the afternoon gone. Certainly most of the hours in which I would normally be able to do stuff of my afternoon. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I should probably wrap this up and go to bed. Yeah, I last night didn't quite go to plan, but it was a good theory. I thought, right, I'm going to start a new routine. I'm going to brush my teeth and all that sort of thing a bit earlier on. Brush my teeth, take my medication that I take in the evening. Not early, but just a little bit earlier on. have a drink of water, and then just kind of wrap things up after that. In theory, that one of the meds that I take at night makes me drowsy, or at least it's supposed to. Well, that's not the purpose of it, but it's a common side effect. So I thought I'll start to get sleepy and that'll make me go to bed. It didn't really work, but I thought it's a good habit to get into anyway, because once I've done my teeth and taken my meds, that's kind of telling my brain, right, it's bedtime. Wrap things up, go to bed. So I'm less likely to stay up really, really late. So, right, that's my new thing. Do that every night. Have I done it today? No. No, I have not. So, never mind. I will try again tomorrow, maybe. And we'll see how that goes. Right, I'm going to do a couple more rows of this, I think, and then I'm going to go to bed. I just realised I haven't been counting the rows, and I was supposed to be while I was talking to you. Have you got any idea how many rows I did while I was chatting? Not a clue. Uh-oh. Right, I'm going. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.